Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Ghost Recon Wildlands. In the near future, Bolivia has fallen into the hands of Santa Blanca, a merciless drug cartel who spreads injustice and violence, kidnaps people and kills those who stand in their way. Well, that is kinda obvious if you ask me. Imagine a drug cartel who spreads joy and freedom, enforces the superiority of the law and pays taxes. I really doubt that this is how drug cartels work, although I think so. I have never created one, yet. So here you will discover the diverse landscapes both on and off-road, in the air, on land and at sea with over 60 different vehicles. And your goal is kinda obvious, you have to dismantle the Santa Blanca cartel. You must do that by fighting fire with fire. You know, they kill people and you kill their people. They spread violence, you spread even more violence among them. They sell drugs, you sell even more drugs. Oh wait, maybe not the latter. Anyway, show them who's the real boss in Bolivia is. Probably not you though. Assassin's Creed Origins. Ancient Egypt, a land of majesty and intrigue, is disappearing in a ruthless fight for power. You will unveil dark secrets and forgotten myths as you go back to one founding moment, the origins of Assassin's Brotherhood. People are talking that this is one of the best Assassin's Creed games they have ever played. It has a great combat system, almost no bugs, and only bad comments are from grumpy old dudes who can't cope with the fact that this is now a role-playing game. Although I must admit that if you are not a fan of an ancient Egypt, this setting can seem a bit boring. Some settings are really overused and not interesting anymore. You know, like Egyptian, ancient Greek, Viking or Latvian mythology. You know, especially the Latvian one with all that Lachplesis and Zirga Galva everywhere you go. Cry Primal. Welcome to the Stone Age, a time for extreme danger and limitless adventure, when giant mammoths and saber-toothed tigers ruled the earth and humanity was at the bottom of the food chain. Well, not the very bottom, raccoons were still below us, but a fat, juicy human would also be more preferred meal for a saber-toothed tiger, so I don't know if this lower position of raccoons really help us here. As the last survivor of your hunting group, you will learn to craft a deadly arsenal of, you know, sticks and stones to fend off fierce beasts and outsmart enemy tribes to conquer the land and become the apex predator. That won't be easy, except if you play on easy, then it will be easy. Slay the Spire. More than 100,000 players are recommending this game for you, and so do I. Slay the Spire is a fuse of card games and roguelike titles. Here you can craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures and discover relics of immense power while trying to climb up the ladder. Game features a dynamic deck building, so assemble your deck wisely. Discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the Spire. Select cards that work together to efficiently dispatch foes and reach the top. People on Steam are talking that Slay the Spire is really addictive, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hours played in the comment section. 200 is quite a casual number here, so another game that will keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. Bendy and the Dark Revival. The second part of Bendy and the Ink Machine was released 5 years after the success of its predecessor, and surprisingly it is even more loved by the puzzle and horror fans than the first part. On Steam it is close to an overwhelmingly positive title, and that is a thing you cannot ignore. Here you will play as Audrey as she explores the depths of a creepy animation studio that's gone completely mad, just like your alcoholic Uncle Steve who believes that Earth is in the shape of a vodka bottle. Yeah, flat earthers are such a thing of the past. Anyway, he will combat ink-tainted enemies, solve puzzles, and evade an ever-lurking ink demon while seeking your way back to the real world. You never know who or what is going to be around the next corner in this crazy realm of shadows and ink. Like in the first part, you will have to discover the truth, escape the studio, and above all, fear the ink demon, and survive. A wonderful game for your spooky evenings. The Gunk. This is an action-adventure game in which you play as one of two gritty space holes. As you are struggling to bring in funds, you chance upon an untouched planet brimming with life. You came in search of valuable resources and it looks like you hit the jackpot. But as you uncover the dormant secrets of a shattered civilization, you must battle the curse of a toxic gunk parasite. You will use your trusty power glove to reverse the corruption, uncover secrets of old and heal the planet. Also experience the evolving relationship of the crew as you explore this unique world. The game has a very positive review score, so it may be a good choice for your evening. Hard Reset Redux. This is an action-packed and hardcore single-player shooter which embraces the best qualities that the genre has to offer. It includes loads of enemies, great weapon variety, a challenging campaign, and a beautifully realized cyberpunk setting. You know, this game is quite cool. If you like shooters, you will probably like this game as well. It's as simple as that. People in comments are saying that the first levels are a bit boring for an experienced gamer, but later it's game on and it's really worth your money. And just look at that price. Any argument against obtaining this gem is invalid. And it has very positive reviews as well. GRIME. This is a fast and unforgiving Metroidvania action-adventure RPG. In this world of anatomical horror and intrigue, you will crush your foes with living weapons that mutate their form and function. Then consume dead adversaries with your black hole to strengthen your vessel. The game lets you play to your preference and upgrade only those traits you feel most suited to your unique style. You'll find there is more than one way to break open an enemy, as you move through a variety of environments, meet their inhabitants, and discover the source of their madness. People are saying that the gameplay is quite hard until you get a grip of the mechanics, although boss battles will still show you your place, so don't get cocky and don't give up either. This is a beautiful and atmospheric game worthy of all your attention. Void Crew. Here you will pilot the ship, man the turrets, perform emergency repairs, precharge the power cells, utilize space station weaponry, fabricate munitions, and exit the ship on extravehicular missions, be it patching the ship's hull or scavenging derelict wrecks. The game has a very positive review score on Steam and lets you explore the universe along with your buddies, or, you know, with your mother-in-law. Nobody loves you more, and you know it. People on Steam are saying that everyone has a job to do on the ship, and with every update, the game seems to be getting better and better. Also, Void Crew will break your friendships, but you know, it's worth it. You will find new friends. World is full of friends. Not yours though. Colony Ship, a post-Earth role-playing game. Hundreds of years ago, a spaceship with 50,000 colonists was sent from Earth to colonize Proxima Centauri. You, as one of the colonists, will never feel the sun under a blue sky, never hear the wind in the branches of a tree, never swim in the ocean, never drink delicious vodka in Lithuania or Żywiec beer in Poland, and never taste the incredible rotten canned herring in Sweden. Well, maybe it's not a big loss with the latter, to be fair. And all this happened because you had the misfortune to be born in the ship, chained to a fate you didn't choose. You have never seen Earth, and you will never see Proxima Centauri either. You are doomed to live and die on the ship in the name of the mission, like your father before you, like his father before him. So in Colony Ship you will find a skill-based character system with feats and biological implants. Also you can choose from 12 recruitable party members with different personalities, agendas and beliefs. Game has a very positive review score, so if you want to live a meaningless life with nothing to lose, I mean, if you are not already doing that in real life, this is your chance to have fun. Steep. You'll ride a massive open world across the mountains of cocaine. Well, or snow. I don't think there was an official explanation of what exactly this white stuff is made of. Anyway, imagine what you want. So here you land in the Alps, or the wilderness of Alaska, and conquer the world's most epic mountains on skis, wingsuits, snowboards and paragliders. Basically, you will do all that stuff you would never do in real life. You know, you can't do that sitting on your couch. Oh wait, yes you can. Although I doubt that you find this mother of all winter sports in this game. But don't worry, the game is really cheap, so even without that it's worth your time and money. So long story short, this is a fun game with great mechanics. The more you play, the better you become. Until you hit the ceiling of your capabilities, of course, and then delete this stupid game. Anyway, good luck! Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This is a realistic tactical team-based shooter where you should carefully plan your operations if you want the execution to be flawless. Game features 5 vs 5 attack vs defense gameplay and intense close quarters combat in destructible environments. On defense, coordinate with your team to transform your environments into strongholds, trap, fortify and create defensive systems to prevent being breached by the enemy. And on attack, lead your team through narrow corridors and get killed by traps and defensive systems. Well, not necessary, but there is a huge huge possibility of that. You will have to combine tactical maps, observation drones, rappelling and more to plan, attack and defuse every situation. And only then die. You can choose from dozens of highly trained special forces operators from all around the world. Well, they are as trained as you are. So basically a dead meat walking, but the illusion of your awesomeness is there. You will deploy the latest technology to track enemy movement, shatter walls to open new lines of fire, tear down ceilings and floors to create new access points. This game lets you do things many others do not. That is the beauty and selling point of Rainbow Six Siege. And there is always thousands of people online, so you will never be alone. Far Cry 4. Travel to Himalayas into the fictional country of Kyrat, and of course try to overthrow the oppressive regime of the dictator in the process, because you know that's what we do, right? Casually traveling around the world, drinking piñatas, and then boom, you are the leader of some separatist movement in the country that you have never even heard of before. And yes, I know what piñata is, I'm just trolling you. Of course, Far Cry 4 is not the newest title of the franchise, but it is still a great game with a great price. The world of Far Cry is really impressive and alive, with terrain spanning from lush forests to the snow-capped Himalayas. The entire world is teeming with life and deadly encounters. Leopards, rhinos, black eagles and vicious honey badgers. This is a home of untouched wildlife, so every time as you embark on your hunt for resources, know that something may be hunting you as well.
Gamedec.
This is a single-player, non-combat cyberpunk RPG. You are a game detective who solves crimes inside virtual worlds by using your wits to gather information from your witnesses and suspects. Also get to the bottom of deceptive schemes, save lives and investigate the relationships between virtual worlds and their inhabitants. The game continually adapts to your choices and never judges, just like your dog does. Also, it sounds a bit like Disco Elysium, and that's a great thing. Although keep in mind that here you will not find any battles and no fighting is available. Pick it up only if you like to read and carefully analyze sentences in dialogues. Planet of Lana. A really beautiful platformer with hundreds of tiny details that make it pop out of the other similar projects. Here, a planet that used to be a place of undisturbed balance between human nature and animal now has become something else entirely. The disharmony that had been in the making for hundreds of years has finally arrived in the form of faceless army. But this is not a story about war. This is a story about a vibrant, beautiful planet and the journey to keep it that way. The game looks like someone crossbred Miyazaki's movies with Star Wars, and that is never a bad thing. REVEIL. This is a narrative first-person psycho thriller focusing on puzzles and exploration. So basically this is a very nicely done walking simulator, you know, with horror vibes, so not as boring as you may expect. The story begins with you waking up. You are disoriented, your head hurts. Well, honestly, a lot of us have the same problem the main protagonist has. It's called alcoholism. But surprisingly this time it's not it. You are trapped into a surreal, mysterious place where everything looks familiar but you don't know why. As things get crazier and more bizarre, the lines between reality, memory and imagination become more and more blurred. So your only way out is to solve everything. Be sure you have an IQ a bit higher than room temperature. Game has strong, very positive review score, so if you like games like that, this may be a wonderful hidden spoon of potato salad for you. Sovereign Syndicate. Here in this Victorian steampunk CRPG you will explore an open world filled with mystery and danger. You can choose from 3 playable characters with branching stories that intertwine. You will investigate, interact and take action to leave your mark on the world and its inhabitants. You will not find any random stat points here and will have to use your skills to level them up. Game wants you to trust your fate to the innovative tarot card chance system. You can solve problems with combat, persuasion, magic or even explosives. The game is heavily influenced by games like Fallout, Baldur's Gate and Disco Elysium. NPCs react to your gender, race, appearance and choice of dialogue, so you'd better look and act the part if you want the right results. But not everything is certain. Luck plays a role and it's all in the cards with the aforementioned tarot card chance system. Anyway, Sovereign Syndicate may very well be a hidden gem or at least a nice polished rock. If you are in doubt, you can play the demo version already. Hard West 2. You are a notorious outlaw with a dangerous reputation. On the hunt for a big score, you hear talk that a ghost train filled with federal gold is heading your way. So you swiftly assemble some cool people with cool guns and a few of them with even cooler supernatural powers. Sounds cool, huh? Well, the train is called Ghost Train for a reason. No spoilers though. It is a non-linear turn-based strategy game that is filled with puzzles to the brim. Instead of a traditional level-up system, the game relies on acquiring equipment and cards. So you build a poker hand to power up your team members. Hardware 2 has several difficulty levels, up to 6 team members and many other cool features, but voice acting isn't too great. Also, the game isn't optimized very well, so the game score on Steam always fluctuates between mostly and very positive. Aliens: Dark Descent. In this tactical real-time strategy, you will command a squad of hardened colonial marines to stop a terrifying xenomorph outbreak on a distant, unwelcoming planet. You will lead your soldiers in real-time combat against iconic xenomorphs, rogue operatives from devious Weyland Yutani Corporation, and a host of horrifying creatures new to the Alien franchise. So here you are, the commander, and soldiers are your weapon. With their help, you will infiltrate large open levels and annihilate enemies with your squad. Tread carefully, as your foes will adapt their tactics to your actions. Monsters will be hunting you down, and the death here is permanent. You know, like the hunger of your cat, or the noises your neighbors make. So if you have a handsome soldier you don't want to lose, you might want to put it behind the others. Although be warned that the aliens can ambush you from behind as well.
Did you say something about behind?
Yeah, he definitely said something about it behind. I heard him.
Oh, shut up. Dark Descent is an original story filled with iconic xenomorph creatures, ranging from facehuggers to Praetorians, alien queens, and many more. Dark Descent has around 90% of positive reviews, and people on Steam are saying that this is the perfect game for Alien Universe fans, and after the isolation, it's probably the best game about xenomorphs. Titan Chaser. It's a meditative experience where you don't have to manage fuel, car maintenance, health or damage. Just find where to drive and how to use your tools effectively, or just forget about your work and drive through foggy landscapes to calm down after a hot day. Although your job here is to find monsters and make them go away.
I think it is inspired by a Norwegian movie called Troll Hunter.
This is the best Norwegian accent I can do. Sue me. Game has very positive reviews and people on Steam are saying that this game is an absolute gem. Really creative and ambitious project.
And now thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.